So today we'll be using the wall as well. So just set up a space that you have for later on. We'll be putting our legs up the wall. Otherwise, we'll just start on our backs. You can bring a pillow for behind your head. So if you're lying on your back, if you want, you can use something to cover your eyes, just to help you come into this practice. You can also place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. And start to bring your attention to your breath. Inhaling slowly through your nose and slowly exhaling out of your mouth. As you breathe here, take an opportunity just to inhale and then exhale out anything that's been going on, just to let it go. So you can do this pretty strongly if you like in the privacy of your home. So just inhale through your nose and just let out a big breath out from your mouth, just letting it go, letting go the day, letting go anything that's been going on. And just knowing that the one thing that we can control is what we're doing now. So we'll slowly start to breathe together in square breathing. So inhaling through our nose, holding our breath, exhaling and holding our breath again. And we'll do this for 4 counts. So slowly here, start to inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. You can continue to breathe like this on your own, at your own pace, maybe going to 5. And you can always try doing that throughout the practice, just to help you come into the practice and just stay here if your mind is wandering. Slowly bring your knees into your chest. Rock yourself side to side. Here you can have your knees wide if you like on the sides of your torso. Just rocking here. You can do little circles with your feet, rotating one direction and then in the other, just to warm up. Slowly place your feet on the ground, about hip width apart, and then just windshield wiper your legs. So bringing your knees down to the ground. Your hip might lift off the ground. And just go as far as feels comfortable. Just warming up, bringing some movement here. And then slowly turn over onto the right or left side, coming up into a seated position. Here, you can come up into a tabletop, stretch to your left side body. You can lower your head onto the ground or place a prop underneath your head, whatever feels comfortable. And then slowly walk your hands through the center, all the way over to the left side, stretching out the right side. You might go further over your knees. It might be different on this side. Lower your head. And then slowly walk your hands back to center. Coming back up into tabletop. In tabletop here, flip onto your toes. So your feet were flat. Now you're on your tippy toes for your feet. And then here, you can just come up seated onto your bum. Coming up onto your tippy toes here. So we're leaning on our tippy toes. And at any point, if this becomes too much, you can always flatten your feet down back onto the ground and take a seat. So on your tippy toes here, just start to rotate your shoulders backwards. Big circles. Shoulders towards the ears. Large circles, so going backward, and then start to move forward. And then slowly here, grab onto your props if you have them nearby, the 2 blocks. Place them in front of you, shoulder width apart. And then slowly place the back of your arm, so making a bend in your elbow, and place the back of your arm on the top of the block. It's best to keep these at the higher level so that your head can hang through the block. Otherwise, if it's on the medium side, your head touches the ground. So just set up slowly and let your hand hang through. You can place your hands together above your head. Here, notice your toes. Are you leaning more onto your tippy toes, onto your pinky, or onto your big toe? Try to balance out, even out the pressure in your toes. Here, notice your breathing. You can try to employ the square breathing here, counting your breath, or even inhaling, holding your breath, exhaling and holding your breath. Even just saying those things in your head as you do it brings you into the practice and keeps you here. If you're still holding on to the pressure if you're still holding on to the weight of your head, try to let it go. Let it hang. Notice if you're still holding your head a little bit. If your feet are starting to hurt, just flip your toes out and flatten them onto the ground. Readjust the position so it's comfortable. Maybe widen your knees. in a lot of positions, even when we get used to it, and we try different variations with our legs, with our arms, it changes the position, makes it feel a little better. So you start to lift your head up and start to remove yourself off the blocks. If your toes are still flipped, here, place your blocks aside and untuck your toes. And then just tap the tops of your feet on the ground lightly, or maybe rub them on the ground. And then slowly here, just lie onto your stomach. And place your hands in front of you, right in front of your shoulders. So your forearms are on the ground. Your forearms are on the ground and your back is lifted. Your head is towards the ceiling. So we're in a baby cobra pose with our torso. Great. So here in this position, notice that your shoulders are right above your elbows. Keeping your posture here. Here, notice your glutes are loose. You're not keeping anything tight. And if you like, if it feels good, you can always press into your hands and go more deeper into the stretch for your back, pushing into it, going taller. Otherwise, keeping it in baby cobra is good too. And then slowly release, flatten yourself on the ground, and place your arms by your side. Here you can keep your right cheek on the ground. And then slowly here, what we're gonna do is just lift up the back legs all on their own. So here, if you like, you can hold on to your hands behind you or place your hands underneath you, whatever feels good. But just lift your back leg. You're lifting your back leg as high as they can go. Then lower your back legs and switch sides with your cheek. Now place your hands behind your back. So you can interlace your fingers, you can hold your hands in some way behind your back, or you can hold a strap. And then slowly here, we're gonna lift our torso and our legs at the same time. So we're kind of flying like a Superman. So 1, 2, 3, lift both torso and the legs as high as you can, holding your hands behind you or a strap behind you. Holding this briefly as long as you can. Keep breathing through this position. And then slowly let go, place your body on the ground. Opposite cheek is on the floor. And then this time, if you like, you can continue to hold your hands behind your back. You can have your hands by your side, or maybe even in front of you might feel good as you do this position, lifting your torso and your feet. Or if you're able to, you can grab onto your feet from the outside and then do the same thing. You're pushing up torso and feet at the same time. So here, if you're able to grab your feet, you can do that right now. If not, grab your hands, grab a strap. And then we're going to lift up both our torso and our feet, everything at the same time here. So 1, 2, 3. Torso up, feet up, grabbing our feet or grabbing our hands. Try to breathe through this, and then let go. Letting go of your hands, letting go of your arms. Opposite cheek is on the ground. And then slowly here, spread out your arms by your side. So your arms are in a bit of a T shape on the ground. At the shoulder, so you're straight at the shoulder. Yeah, great. And then here, slowly place your left cheek on the ground. So you're facing your right hand. And then slowly place your right hand by your chest. And then hinge your right foot as well. And here we're going to start pushing into our right hand, flipping over onto our shoulder. So we're putting pressure onto our left shoulder. Here you can always place the block underneath your head and place your right foot behind you. We're stretching out the shoulder here. Briefly, not too long. So just breathe into this. And then slowly remove the block if you put one underneath your head and turn back onto your stomach. Arms are like a T shape again, and your cheek is now on the other side. Your face is facing the left side. And then slowly here, same thing. Place your left hand by your chest. Hinge your left foot. And slowly push into your hand and to your foot and flip over onto the right side. Here you can use a block for your head or just stay here briefly, as we won't be staying here too long, and just breathe into this position. Rolled over onto the left shoulder now. Yeah. Breathe through this. Here, there's a bit of a twist going on also with the back. And then slowly come back onto the ground. And this time, palms together in front, stacked, and then place your forehead onto your hands. Just let go here. Let go of your glutes, let go of your legs. Let your head rest. Close your eyes. And then slowly here, place your hands, both your hands now by your chest. And then push into your hands and feet. We're coming into a downward facing dog, okay? So you can transition through the tabletop and then come up downward facing dog, your bum's in the air. The more you push into your hands, the more you'll feel the pull in your hamstring. You can walk out your feet if you like, or you can try to lower your heels to the ground. The goal is not to have your heels touching the ground, but this just helps pull the hamstrings. Notice that everything is in an angle as if you're in a V shape, upside down. Walk out your feet, and then here, kick up your right leg into the air, as high as you can go towards the ceiling. Bring your right knee towards your right wrist, and then your foot is going to the left side. Pull back your left leg. And here you can stay up here if you like, proud pigeon. Or bring a block, and then slowly lower yourself down towards your block. Place your head onto the block. Just keeping the alignment here so your shoulders are above your elbows. You might flip the block onto the higher level if your head is sinking a bit. So always keep your head and your mind towards the alignment of your body, just not to cause any further injury. Here, you can always use some props underneath your hips to give some support. If you're not feeling much of a stretch today in this position, you can inch your toes, your right toes, a little further up, and you'll start to feel it in your thigh. If today this position is a bit difficult, it's always a good time to bring your attention to your breath. Even if you're just thinking, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, whatever works, but bring your mind to your breathing. Yoga is a great tool to learn how to breathe through and cope with uncomfortable positions and uncomfortable things, and something that we can bring into our lives daily. The one thing, let's say with yoga now, as we do this position, we can either react and think, oh my gosh, this is very difficult, and try to get out of it, or we can stay calm, focus on the breathing, and let our body have the benefit. So the one thing we can control in general and in yoga is our reaction and how we take things. So here, just breathe through it. Notice how with every breath, stretch gets maybe a little difficult, maybe a little easier. Notice what's happening. If this position's getting a little difficult, you're not getting into it, you can always come onto your side and modify the position by leaning onto your right side on your hip and then bringing up your left knee. Otherwise, stay in it. Slowly here, start to place your hands on the ground and push up in your hands. Hinge your foot and come back into a downward facing dog maybe, or into a child's pose. Transition into this position as feels good, maybe a child's pose. And you can always try alternatives of child's pose, widening your arms for the positions. Come back into tabletop and then back into downward facing dog. Here, pedal out your feet. And then kick up your left leg, this time up towards the ceiling as high as it goes. Maybe it's towards the window or the wall, maybe it's towards the floor, it's okay. Wherever it goes. Bring your knee towards your left hand, and then your foot is towards the right side. Pull back your right leg. And then maybe stay up here. Maybe that will feel good today. Otherwise, set up again with your block. Lower yourself to your block. Keep a check on your alignment, your shoulders are above your elbows. And that your neck is long. Here, if you're not feeling too much of a pull in your hamstring, inch your left toes a little higher up this time. And you can always transition if it's not feeling good today by sitting onto your left hip and then bringing up your right leg, bending your right leg and then repositioning yourself and keeping it in this position. And each side is different. Maybe here you need a prop underneath your hip, a pillow. And here, always try to keep checking that you're not slipping onto one side or another, but that your back is in alignment as well. Your spine is long and straight. Come back to your breath. Notice here if you're even holding your glutes maybe. You might be holding extra muscles that don't need to be held. And then slowly here, transitioning out, push into your hands, but this time just sit onto your hip. So onto your left hip, coming into a seated position. Here, maybe take a moment to grab some water. And then stretch out your right leg, bringing your left foot into your right leg, inside of your leg. And then here, what we're gonna do is we're not directly gonna start stretching towards our feet. we're just going to reach towards the ankle here, leaning slightly over the right leg. And here, start to pivot your foot right and left. So your foot is flexed, you're leaning towards the ankle, and just pivot your leg, moving it slightly, noticing the differences. If you feel more of a stretch inside or outside the leg, behind. And then when you find a spot that needs a bit more of a stretch today, at that point you can reach towards your foot a little bit more. But in this position, always try to notice your back and your posture, not trying to hurt yourself in any way. And you can always use some props, maybe to help you by leaning yourself over it here, keeping your head like this and just leaning towards your foot. You don't need to stretch too much. You can always put a prop in front for your head, piling 2 blocks. So whatever feels comfortable. And just find that spot by pivoting your foot where it needs to go. For some, it's more on the inside of the leg, some on the exterior, if you're more internally or externally rotated. And keep your foot flexed. Notice your neck. Neck is long still, not sinking. And your shoulders are down, so shoulders are not going up towards the ears. Continue to rotate your foot, maybe find another spot. Slowly come out. Torso is long and straight here. And then you can do a bit of a counter twist, twisting over if it feels good here, just twisting slightly. You don't have to force it. And then twisting over to the other side. If it feels good, you can do this. And then straighten out your left foot. Bring your right foot in. Bring your prop if you're using it for your head. And then just reach towards your ankle here, not towards your foot yet, or just your leg. And slightly lean over, flex your foot. And start to explore pivoting your foot side to side, finding that spot that needs to be stretched. You might notice just this leg is maybe a little bit more on the inside of the leg that needs it, or on the outside. Once you find it, lean a little bit more into this position, leaning a little forward towards your foot. And use these props if it feels good and if it helps you by leaning your head onto it. Be mindful of your back and of your neck, not going too far into this position. And then pivot your foot a little bit more, find another spot that needs a little bit of a pull here, a little stretch. And then slowly come up. And if it felt good, do some counter twists. And then bring your props by your side, put them away. And here, place your feet about mat width apart. And then just windshield wiper your feet side to side. So here, bringing your knees down to the side again. And then lie back down onto your mat. Here you can have your props nearby. We'll be using them again. Lie on your back, maybe place a pillow behind your head, whatever feels good. And just keep your back flat on the ground. Your shoulder blades are flat. And then here, place one block underneath your hips. So lift up your hips and place the block underneath your sacrum, lower back, your hips, not your lower back, just beneath your lower back. And just to check, lift your feet up, and it shouldn't pinch, there shouldn't be any pain. And here in this position, bring your knees into your chest. So they might go and not go into your chest, but just bring your knees up. And here, just start to do slight rotations of your knees towards the ceiling. So as if you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. So you're going around with your knees, either drawing an oval or a circle or a wobbly blob on the ceiling with your knees. Going in one direction, then in the other direction. Here, just bringing some attention to the lower, to the hips here. We're just putting some more pressure. And then bring your right knee into your chest, stretching out your left leg. So here, both your feet can be flexed. It might help. And then just keep your foot above the ground. Your left leg is above the ground. Right knee into the chest, then switch. Keeping both feet flexed. Now the left foot is long. The right leg is long, left knee is in chest. And switch. Just do this for a few moments at the pace that suits you. Great. Slowly place your feet on the ground. And then here, it might feel good just to stay here. If you want, you can always experiment with the block, flip it onto its medium side that's underneath you. The block that's underneath you, you flip it from the lower side onto the medium side and see how that feels. Some people can go up onto the long side. Otherwise, you can always place the second block underneath by coming up onto your tippy toes. Readjust. And here, tuck your shoulders behind you, so your shoulder blades, and have your palms towards the ceiling. Maybe use something to cover your eyes. Take a moment here. Maybe place your hands on your belly, help you come back to your breath. Let go of your forehead, any muscles you're holding in there, your face, even keeping the tongue touching the top of your mouth. Just let go. Here, if your hands are on your belly or if your hands are facing the ceiling, you can just tap your fingers on your belly or bring your thumb to your index finger, thumb to the middle finger, going down your fingers as you say in your mind or out loud as you're home, peace begins within me. So you can just tap your fingers on your belly if you like. Index, peace begins within me. with all the crazies in the world and all the craziness. It's important to remind ourselves that that's what it is. The peace begins within me. Slowly here, come up onto your tippy toes, lift your hips, and slide out the first block, or if you had your block on a different level, lower it down. To the first level of the block. Take a moment here, and then lift your hips up again, and remove that first block. Lowering your hips slowly to the ground. Here it might feel good to bring your knees into your chest. Knees are maybe a bit wider, open to the side next to your torso. Rock yourself side to side. You can always hold on to your thighs directly if you like. And if it's accessible, you can always bring your feet towards the ceiling as if you're walking on the ceiling. Your knees on the outside of your torso by your side, and grab onto the outside of your feet and rock side to side. Otherwise, hold on to your thighs. And then here, bring your feet back to the ground. Maybe windshield wiper your legs if that's feeling good. And then come on to one side, either side here. Pushing into your hands, and then moving over towards the wall that you have prepared or that you can place your feet up the wall, and you can bring with you the block. You can bring a block with you also. When you come up to the wall, sit close to the wall. And then lie onto the ground and flip your feet up the wall. So that's how you get pretty close to the wall. And it's okay if you're not touching the wall directly. Here, in this position, you can always keep it like this. Your just lower back is on the ground, feet are up the wall. Good. Or if you brought the block, you can try placing this block underneath your back. So your hips again, okay? So it's not your back, but your hips. So lift your hips up. You're placing your feet on the wall, lifting, placing this block. Only feels good. And then lift your feet back up on the wall. If it doesn't feel good, take it out, the block again. If the block is too hard, you can always place a pillow underneath, or just come straight back to the ground. If you're feeling a bit fidgety and you don't want to just stay in this position, you can always open one leg, the right leg up along the wall, opening the leg, bringing it down, maybe supporting your leg with your hand or a block, coming back to the stretch on the inside of the leg, then bringing the right leg back up and doing the same with the left, opening up the left leg along the wall. Supporting that leg, bringing the leg back up. Here you can keep your legs straight up the wall or bring your feet together and let your legs slide down the wall. So you're in Cobra's pose and you're letting gravity give a little stretch to the inside of your leg. And you can stay here if you're comfortable. Close your eyes, place something to cover your eyes. Or just place your legs straight up the wall again, letting the blood rush out the other direction. So I'm just going to read a poem here about letting go and letting ourselves truly enjoy being alive. So I find myself wishing for what I think is right, but how can I know the secrets of life? If I keep, I'll miss so much in life. The one thing I know now is that holding on to control only drains me of life. It is a fight. What if I stopped for a moment, just this one silver of time, and I put what I'm holding on hold? Maybe then I'll see that there's no need to look at life through a stained glass window. There's no need to cover my eyes from the way life is. Just for this one moment in time, I think I see how I've been keeping myself out of the light, how I've been holding on the lonely gold of what I think is right for me, when in reality, how could I know the span of life? How can I know the depth of life when I've broken it up into pieces, hoping to be the maker? I am not the maker of what I see, but I am in charge of how it is seen. I do not renounce the world or what I see with my eyes, but I look upon what I see with new eyes. If I look from inside, I can see clearly that how I see what I see is all I need to control. Letting go of the ties that pull me away from peace, I hear the still space inside of me, and I see the truth through new eyes. Things can be different, but I'm not alone in my quest to see another, easier way. If I release my weary struggle, I can stop grasping for the answer. I can stop wishing for someday. There's something else, a greater plan, a higher intelligence. And to it I say, help me let go of wishing, so that my heart may match the heartbeat of a better way. Plant my feet firmly in the soil of today. Reset my sight, so that from this moment I feel no need to stray. There's a call to let go of what's not meant for me to hold. Peace is what I know, peace is what I want now. That's life's true goal. Every single moment of surrender is a peace treaty with my soul. Here, bring your knees into your chest. And then let your knees fall onto the right or left side along the wall here. Just take a moment here in a bit of a fetal position. And then when you're ready, push into your hands, come back into a seated position.